Hey, I'm Matt at Mr. Maple.
And I'm Brian at Mr. Maple.
Hey, today we've got a fun video for you. We've had a lot of requests for some comparison videos, and we've got a lot of those coming. So we'll have a series discussing some red lace leaves, some red uprights, and a lot of different things. Today, one of our most popular topics, we're going to be discussing green weeping lace leaves.
So make sure you guys like and subscribe to our channel because we've got all kinds of new videos coming up. Every day we're out here in the greenhouses trying to get something on for you guys. So make sure you stay tuned and sign up. Hey guys, in our last video we've been telling you guys about our awesome giveaway. Check out this new Mr. Maple hat. I know you guys are going to want one. So Matt, tell us how you can get it.
So it's very simple. If you want to be entered to win, we're coming in on 8,000 subscribers, and we just greatly appreciate that as well. So what we're doing is we're going to give away some of these hats. To enter to win, like, subscribe, and share. Then you can let us know you've done that by simply going into the comment section below. You can do this on every single video you want. So each video is a different chance to enter to win. Once you've liked, subscribed, and shared, put in the comment, I dig Mr. Maple. Just put that in the comment section below. We'll be searching those, putting them into an algorithm so that we can pick a number. We'll draw some people out to win these hats. We hope you like this way we're doing this. If it works really well, we're coming in on 10,000 subscribers really soon. We may have an even bigger giveaway plan for that.
Hi, I'm Tim at Mr. Maple, and we greatly appreciate you taking time to watch this video. Today's video on weeping green lace leaves, I really hope will help you understand some of the differences between these weeping green lace leaf selections. We couldn't do a weeping green lace leaf selection video without talking about Acer palmatum Waterfall. This is a nice weeping green cascading lace leaf that I think a lot of people have in their landscape and garden.
Yeah, this is going to be your classic, that low cascading umbrella. The tree's going to get a little bit wider than it does tall and just make that low graceful habit that you're familiar with weeping Japanese maples. Now what Waterfall is going to do is it's going to go from a bright chartreuse green to kind of a Kelly green midsummer to some exquisite yellows and then later even oranges in the fall. So some great color pattern changes on that one. One that's really known for that fall color. I mean, it's an exceptional fall color for sure.
And this one here goes to those yellows and oranges in the fall. So you get that green color, that Kelly green, that lively feel during the summer of that darker green. People underestimate the green lace leaves in the summer. It really gives that lively feel, and a lot of traditional Japanese gardens often use more of those weeping green lace leaves when they're using a weeping lace leaf selection. Now the neat thing about Waterfall is it was actually selected in New Jersey at a state park at a waterfall, and that's where it got its name of Waterfall.
Yeah, when you think of Japanese maples, a lot of people think of that low cascading umbrella style in a red. I would say one of our most popular trees is definitely Waterfall for that green cascading umbrella style. Now, it's going to be an awesome complement to something like Tamukiyama or Crimson Queen, which are going to be in that red category and very similar shapes, but this is going to bring that bright chartreuse green. So it's going to be an obvious pairing with a red Japanese maple, but it's something that stands out on its own, and it actually does pretty well in the sun as well. So it's going to be one that works zones 5 through 9, and it's going to work in sun typically up to zone 8.
With a really nice cascading habit that makes it look like a waterfall just flowing downward. And great container plant because of that weeping habit, and that those arching branches are something that really makes this tree really unique and really special. You'll notice all the lace leaves we're talking about today are all high grafted. And basically what that does is it starts them at a higher point so they can cascade and weep downward. Sometimes we may offer low grafted Japanese maples of these weeping green lace leaves. And that basically means that the graft will start lower, so you'll get branching at a lower point to start off with.
Now, Waterfall, I consider it to be one of the quintessential classics for Japanese maples. It's probably our most common green lace leaf, our most popular green lace leaf, and probably the most sought after green lace leaf that we do. It's a fun one. It's out there a little bit. You've probably seen it before, but it's definitely one you're going to want to put in your garden. And no video on weeping green Japanese maples would be complete without Acer palmatum dissectum Waterfall. So next up we have a really fun Japanese maple. On the table here we have Acer palmatum dissectum Germaine's Gyration. Now this is an extremely contorting Japanese maple that's extremely fast growing, but also with that green lace leaf weeping form.
This one has a nice contorting habit that twists and contorts as it weeps, where it gets that name of Gyration. This is a plant I really love because Matt's often coined the term saying it's the Mack truck of Japanese maples when it comes to the weeping lace leaves.
Yeah, this one's typically going to be 10 by 10 in 10 years, so it gets out there. It's one you want to have a little bit of room for, but if you do, it's going to give you the appearance of one of those longwood garden, you know, one of those older Japanese maples you may see at the Morris Arboretum. It's going to give the appearance of a 100-year-old tree, but in a much quicker time frame. So it does grow quite vigorously for a lace-leaf Japanese maple.
If you have the space for it, I highly recommend Germaine's Gyration. It's such a fast grower with its weeping, contorting habit that it's so unique, and it makes a specimen that's going to be a plant that everyone talks about in your landscape and garden.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of this one. Its fast growth rate is really fun. Great fall colors, yellows and oranges on this one. Again, a green lace leaf, but what I think makes it special is that fast growth rate. I mean, you know, if you're the impatient gardener and you want a lace leaf that's going to look really big, really quick, it's a perfect candidate for that because it does get out there quite a bit.
We first started growing this through Elizabeth Mundy, who said, you got to grow this plant.
Yeah.
But we spotted the most amazing specimen at the home of Bill and Kristen Taylor in Spartanburg, South Carolina.
Oh yeah, it's quite a beauty. It kind of engulfs his porch there. It's actually our main photo you see on Germaine's Gyration, and it is quite the specimen. Another nursery offered him to buy that tree, and they were willing to pay quite a bit of money for that tree, and he said he'd rather him take the truck and just drive it through the front of his porch because he wasn't parting ways with it. And I understand that kind of passion when it comes to a beautiful specimen like that. It is a showstopper of a plant.
Now, things you can do is you can get out and trim some of the branches to accentuate the contorting habit, but it does this all on its own. And it's such a fun plant, it grows so quickly. I once had a 92-year-old lady who said, I want a tree that grows very fast here. And I went around and showed her all the trees at the nursery, and she ended up choosing Germaine's Gyration. And she said, son, will you pick that up for me? And I reached down to pick it up. The lady pinches me on the butt. And then I turn around and she says, I still got it.
The funniest part about that story is that we were giving a talk to a Master Gardener presentation a couple years later, and Tim started into that story for some reason, and the lady was in the audience, and I'm like, you better chill with that one. But it was a funny story for sure. And I'm sure something he thinks of fondly every time he thinks of Germaine's Gyration.
But it is that plant. It's a plant that's going to grow really quickly, so you can enjoy very soon in a large specimen. So if you're wanting that 150-year-old specimen look in a shorter time frame, this one will get there really quickly.
Now, one name this tree is out there sometimes under is contorted. Germaine's Gyration actually is the correct name. It was named for Germaine Isley, and it's just a beautiful plant there in the landscape. It does have that contorted habit to it, though. You're definitely going to get a lot of intricate branching, so that name contorted does make sense for that. But Germaine's Gyration is the correct name on this, and I think it's a tree you're really going to enjoy in your landscape, especially if you have the room.
And this is a tree that has a little bit larger leaf than a lot of other green lace leaves. And that may be one of the reasons why it grows so much quicker. I'm not 100% sure, but this one goes to some really nice shades of yellow and bold oranges in the fall.
Yeah, I think we actually talked about this one in our episode of Growing a Greener World. And what blew me away is it's such a fast grower. It took several months before the episode aired since we shot it. And we went out and took some pictures of the tree after the episode aired for like some clips that we're going to do. And it was so much larger than it was in the video. It's like it had leaped since the video that was only several months before when we shot it. So it does get out there in size. It'll surprise you. You could set a camera up and take some yearly shots of this one. You're going to be like, wow, that changed quite a bit.
But this is a tree, if you've got space for it, I highly recommend it. And it's one that stands out from a lot of other weeping lace leaves because it is such a fast grower. A lot of weeping green lace leaves go to yellows and oranges in the fall. One that's very unique that goes to a red in the fall is Acer palmatum dissectum Green Hornet.
Now this is going to make that same beautiful green cascading umbrella and a very similar size to the Waterfall, but what makes it a fun accompaniment to that is that very different fall color. I mean, Waterfall is going to go to that golden yellows to oranges, where Green Hornet is going to bring shades of bright red into the garden to even dark maroon.
Yeah, I love this one because it can have such bold colors of that bright red to deep maroon that it makes a great pairing with Waterfall, because on the Waterfall you'll get the yellows and oranges, and green during the spring and the summer. Green Hornet looks like it's very similar, and then in the fall you get that dynamic contrast of the red, which just gives it a great pairing.
Yeah, it's another fun one to pair with red lace leaves as well, because you're going to get a different spring color but then some bold red fall color. It's a great plant for the container garden. It's one that really works for so many different uses, But the container garden is, I think, where it really shines as well. It's an exceptionally heat tolerant tree, and it just does great in a pot. Like, it looks really good in that patio planter, and then bringing it up on the deck. It's a great way to grow it.
And this one really has a really nice lateral habit that is pretty unique. And it arches downward and cascades as it does it. It, like Matt said, it makes a fantastic container plant, but it's just a unique specimen overall.
So last but not least, we have a little bit different of a green weeping Japanese maple. We have Acer japonicum Green Cascade. Now this is the first one of this category that's a slightly different species. We've been talking about Acer palmatum dissectum, and now we're moving into Acer japonicum Green Cascade.
And I believe this is the very first that I know of Laceleaf japonicum selection.
There's a few more now, but it's certainly the OG and probably the classic of those. And this is going to make that low weeping umbrella style, but with what you love about a more japonicum style foliage.
So when J.D. Vertrees' book came out, it popularized Japanese maples all across America and all across the globe so quickly. He couldn't keep up with production. And what he did is he hired Art Wright to help with production. Now, Art Wright found this as a chance seedling and named it Green Cascade.
Yeah, excellent tree. It's going to have everything you like about Laceleaf Japanese maples and Acer japonicums, and then kind of pair those things together. So one thing I love about the Acer japonicums are those red tassel flowers. You're going to get a red tassel flower in the early spring, that larger rounded leaf. It's a little more dissected, like Tim was saying. It almost gives it that lace leaf-like appearance too, and some amazing fall color changes. I mean, japonicums are noted as having some of the most outstanding fall color, natively in Japan. And so bringing that into that more compact Green Cascade style format is a great way to have that color.
And being a japonicum, with the lace leaf, it actually has more of a wider spreading habit than a lot of these other varieties, where it'll have a very lateral weeping habit and grow much more laterally and then cascade down from that.
I'm a sucker for all the Acer japonicums. They're just cool plants. Excellent plants to grow in the landscape. There's so many little different nuances that make them interesting, from the blooms to the fall color to the leaf shape. I think it's one that just really brings something different. I like it on the standard like this, so it's raised up a little bit, so you get that high graph look to it and then that width to it. I just think it gives it a little bit more elevation to it, and it just makes a nicer platform for all that color.
And I really like the fact that it just goes to some amazing fall colors of the yellows, reds, and oranges. It's hard to beat a japonicum on fall color, and Green Cascade brings that amazing fall color into a weeping Japanese maple.
Yeah, think about some of the color changes you see on Maikujaku, and it's going to be very, very similar for this one. So you're going to start out with almost more oranges, and then by the end of that fall color, you almost get more of those bold reds and yellows. So really colorful, just a fun plant to be growing in the landscape. Another great candidate, really any of these are great candidates for the container garden. The key there, as we always reiterate, good drainage on the container garden, but these are some great candidates for container gardening for Japanese maples.
And like most japonicums, you'll want to give this some protection from the hot afternoon sun and hotter climates for its best growth rate. But I think this is a tree that deserves a spot in your garden.
Hey, so thanks for making it to this part of the video. It's been very popular for us to do these round table discussions. I'll plead with you again to definitely like and subscribe to our channel. We're out here and it's getting into the lower 20s at this point of the video, so we're got a little bit of protection from the greenhouse, but it's cold. So we are the maple crazies, if you want to know, to be doing this today. But we want to get a video out for you every single day, and we really hope you appreciate this content. So we're going to get into a little round table discussion here at our square table, as you've heard me say before, about the green lace-leaf Japanese maples. Now we have a small assortment here. We probably could do several segments of this different type. We've got Waterfall, Germaine's Gyration, Green Hornet, and Acer japonicum Green Cascade. Now, of these trees, Tim, I'm going to let you go first, and I'm probably going to knock you off and pick it because you're going to pick my favorite. That's what younger brothers always do. They're always going to pick your favorite and then act like it was theirs. But which is your favorite here on the table?
So my favorite of all these four on here is Green Cascade.
You can do it! All right, so my favorite is Germaine's Gyration. We'll go ahead and cut to that. He botched his segment. My favorite in this segment is definitely Germaine's Gyration. So Tim likes Green Cascade the best. We've settled that. He can't pick Germaine's Gyration now. Germaine's Gyration is my favorite. Now, what were you gonna say?
Germaine's Gyration is pretty amazing. If you stake it up, And this one would be my favorite. I knew Matt was going to choose it too. But
I pretty much talk about this one in everything we're in as well. For some reason,
you stake it
I end
up.
up talking about it in everything.
You stake it up, let it cascade and contort. It's going to be one that's going to be very unique. Such a fast grower. It's one of our favorites here at the nursery, so it's easy that it's going to be our favorite whenever you put 4 of mostly any other Japanese maple on the table. It's such a great grower with great fall color, very hardy, and it grows so fast. I think that's the thing that makes us enjoy this tree so much is its speed. But if I was going to pick a second tree on this table, it would be Green Cascade.
That was really your first. You ripped off my first choice. So getting back to my first choice here, the older brother, I picked Germaine's Gyration. He knocked me off. Germaine's Gyration is definitely my favorite of this group, and I picked it first, and it's definitely my favorite. Actually, we joke about this, but we did learn about this one from Elizabeth Mundy as well. And shout out to Elizabeth. She's always been instrumental in helping us here at Mr. Maple and really just educating us when we were really getting started. But it's one that she got us onto early. I love it for that fast growth rate. It's really fun for how fast it gets out there. There's not many plants that give that 100-year-old appearance in a really quick time frame. And in a 10-year period, it looks like a 100-year-old plant. I think that's my favorite thing about this. So getting into your favorite, the Green Cascade here, what would you say were some of the things you like best about that one?
I like the fact that you bring a Laceleaf habit, that green Laceleaf habit, to a japonicum. And so you've got some amazing fall color, and you've got that lateral habit, and you've got that larger leaf. It really gives something unique and different. And I mean, you could really, Waterfall's such a classic. That's probably the customer's choice.
Hands down, that's the customer's choice. I was going to say too. I think if you were basing it off public opinion, you'd have to go Waterfall. That's.
But the thing to do with a lot of these, if you want to get them to really make a specimen quicker, is stake them up. The height is what takes the longest time on a lot of these plants, on these weeping Laceleaf selections. And by staking them up, you can give them a lot of height, and they're going to cascade naturally off of that.
We'll probably make a whole video about staking. We've had some requests about that. But really quick and simple, if you stake up the uppermost point to a Laceleaf, so in this Green Hornet, even if you took this uppermost part, no matter what, that tree is going to want to make a low cascading umbrella from there. So by staking this part of the tree up, it's going to weep down from there as well. So you can actually get that height quicker with a Japanese maple and then just kind of let them gracefully weep down from there. Well, we're here in the Arctic tundra and we're freezing our behinds off out here, but we're still putting out content. So as we get crazier, you know the temperatures are dropping. You can probably see our breath more in the videos. But I wanted to get Brian on this side of the camera and ask him which of these were you growing in your garden before, and of those, do you have a favorite?
Well, I would say that I'll start with my favorite, just based on the unique characteristics of it. Is going to be the Green Cascade. I didn't have this one in my garden, but the idea of having that large japonicum leaf, that canvas for color, is what I always think about when I think about japonicums. Is amazing to have that in a weeping dissectum form. So I know the colors on that in fall, I'm sure, are just outstanding. What I had in my garden was Waterfall, which is that ultimate classic, like you spoke of. And
I mean, do you really have a Japanese maple collection if you don't have Waterfall?
No, you don't.
I mean,
absolutely not. I mean, there's something about that every garden needs to have that. And the color in the fall is just, I mean, mind-blowing. I mean, every time I went out with my camera, it was like, how can I capture this moment in time? Because people need to see it. I mean, when you see it and you capture that right moment, you're like, wow, I can't believe that's actually real. But that's a great cultivar for sure.
You know, it's as common as it is, it's underappreciated. I mean, it's classic for every aspect of it. I get some years where the fall color just doesn't even look real. I mean, some years I look at that fall color and I think that could be like my favorite plant, just based off the fall color. But as popular it is, it's probably underutilized still.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for watching our video on green weeping Japanese maples. We hope you enjoy this style discussion. We're going to be doing more of these, and stay tuned. There's a lot more to come.
Make sure you guys stay tuned, because we're doing this giveaway with this hat, and I know you guys are going to want one.
All you got to do to be entered, like, subscribe, share, then every single video you comment under the comment, I dig Mr. Maple. By doing that, you'll be entered to win, so definitely do that. And as always, sign up for our weekly emails on MrMaple.com. We had 10 new exciting plants every single Tuesday at 10, so there's always something new and interesting coming on at Mr. Maple.
So you guys have a great day.
And God bless.